Good afternoon, and welcome to Indeed. It's an independent podcast about independent wrestling. I'm Mike Hamley. It's Tuesday, so we're live, and I have two very, very special guests with me today. To my left, right, you know him from PWI. You know him from the Grapsody podcast on Fightful. You know him from Bandcamp, hopefully, because he makes some good-ass music. It's Righteous Reg.
It's your boy, Media Man, best in the world. Hold on, let me get my little shit in, Mike. Media Man, best in the world. Favorite writer, your favorite rapper, your favorite podcaster. Here to show you guys what it's all about. There's another guy here, I think, that's going to also be here talking. He's from a bunch of places. Go ahead and let him know who it is, Mike.
We have our featured show today, Bodyslam Vendetta, and who better to discuss the show with than the man who made it happen, the brains behind Bodyslam, the Emperor, Baron Black. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you that introduction. You hit my moniker right on the money, man. A lot of people don't get it correctly, but you hit it right on the money. I appreciate that. But you got to understand, you also got to address me as the Emperor of AEW Dark. That's exactly who I am. So we got to address me as that as well. and soon to be highly ranked Emperor Baron Black. Soon to be.
But like your losses, it's gonna be it's a very tall hill to climb, Baron Black.
Yeah, it's a very tall hill to climb, but what other person can do that besides me? Exactly.
And son of a gun.
Who knows? Could see Baron Black getting that elusive victory tonight on AEW Dark. But for now, we're going to jump into Bodyslam Vendetta. So we had this take place on April 24th, right? And then it aired last week,
yes, sir.
10th of May. And
it aired on this past Sunday.
What
I forgot what the date
went
was.
in on Fight? You aired the premiere free on Fight TV. What went into the idea to air it for free on Fight?
Well, the idea was, since it was a really new concept to professional wrestling, and why I say it's a new concept is like this is a thing that has not been fully done to the point where it's a full crossover event between pro wrestling and hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I know it's the first one of its kind. And a lot of people would be, a little bit like not too quick to jump on maybe a purchase or a pay-per-view for that. So I understood going in that I was like, you know what, let me show them exactly what I concocted in my brain and let them view it for themselves, and then let them decide, the consumer and the fans, let them decide if they want to continue to see something like this. And the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. It really was a shocker to me.
Rightfully so. It was an awesome show. Like, I have to watch, I generally watch the featured show I do each week a couple times through. And I've had a lot of fun watching it over the last 7 days. It's exactly what you said. It's a very unique blend that hasn't really fully taken place. We had musical performances throughout the show. Had Pastor Troy open the show. Had Johnny Apollo in the show. You got played to the ring by Josiah Williams.
by the GOAT, Josiah Williams. I know he's
Right.
gonna text me and be mad that I said that, but he's the GOAT.
It is what it is. He knows what he is, Baron.
Yeah.
But it's a concept that makes a lot of sense because like pro wrestling and music in general, there's a lot of similarities. You know, they're both, you know, viewed artistically. You have different genres, you know, all sorts of different sounds of music, all sorts of different styles of wrestling. You know, shows they feel, you know, shows and concerts, they have similar vibes. You know, you have your big nationally touring productions, and then you have, you know, your like local establishment underground shows with like a more intimate connected feel. And I think you did a really good job on this one of kind of blending both of those feels together. It was a really like for a first show, it was a really polished production.
Yeah,
that was noticeable right off the top.
Oh yeah, I was happy as I was watching it live when it premiered, and I was paying attention to, you know, everybody live tweeting, who was live tweeting, who wasn't live tweeting. I was paying attention to all of that, and the first things I saw was like, oh my God, the cameras look so good. I was like, yes. I was like, yes. I wanted y'all to notice that the production value was not going to be anything so far. It's going to be shot in a very different way because wrestling has never used that style of camera before, or that style of presentation when it comes to camera. So when people saw it, it was like, oh wow, this looks really good presenting in wrestling. So I got hooked up with a very talented guy who did films for Hulu, who did films for Netflix, and he wanted to get into professional wrestling. And he came and basically learned the trade at Terminus 1 and Terminus 2. And I was telling him that I'm probably going to bring out Bodyslam now as the opportunity for me to finally do it after being approached by, you know, a lot of hip hop moguls, hip hop artists, hip hop industry guys in Atlanta. I was like, I think it's finally time to pull out Bodyslam, my little brainchild, my little baby that I've been storing in the back of my head. And I was like, I want to give you the opportunity to do this. And he was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it look great. And he made it look great. He made it really look great. So shouts out to my guy Cliff. He did a very outstanding job. And shout out to everybody that participated, all the talent, especially all the artists, all the VIP guests that came to the show as well that y'all did not see on camera, but it was very important people there in that building. So I'm really excited for what I got cooked up with the next one.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like you're kind of cooking these ideas up. On the surface, it seems like these ideas are coming pretty quickly. I remember talking to you it was AEW Revolution weekend, I think, and you were telling me that Bodyslam was, you know, you were going to do it. It was happening. You were putting all the pieces together. How long? And then like a month later, it happened. How long was it kind of a real like I can possibly do this idea?
It was pretty much real after Terminus 1. Terminus 1 was highly successful on so many levels. Simply
that
because
felt like a quick thing too. It felt like you guys were like, Terminus is happening, and then it was happening, you know?
Yeah, it's like me and Gresh, y'all know the story behind Terminus 1, and when the Terminus kicked off, it was something we wanted to do ever since we was training. So it was all about the right place, right time, preparation, and all the other stuff that goes into running the show. So when we had everything lined up and all the stars aligned and nothing was really forced, we was like, all right, it's time. It's time to do it. So Terminus, we said Terminus was coming. Terminus happened. Terminus, like I said, was highly successful on multiple levels. Sold out, great buy rate on pay-per-view. A lot of people watched it. A lot of important people watched it. And a lot of important people I didn't know actually watched it. And that's how Bodyslam came to be, because I got approached by a lot of highly, you know, sought after public figures in Atlanta who actually watched Terminus and heard about Terminus and was like, hey, you know, you ever thought about doing something like this hip hop related? And I was like, oh boy, you just don't have no idea. I've been had this in the back of my head. So it's like, that's when Bodyslam really started to roll. Like the idea I've had ever since I was like a teenager. Everybody knows where inspiration comes from. It comes from the video game. So I was like, this would be awesome if this ever was a real wrestling show built around this concept. So I always had that concept on the back of my head. You know, Terminus was always the forefront because I wanted to present something different for wrestling and keep the core foundations of wrestling and storytelling and the foundations of wrestling together. And we also wanted to do something that will bring a lot of eyes to Atlanta, which we have definitely succeeded in. As you can see, Atlanta is becoming a very hot market right now for wrestling. So
super hot.
I definitely credit Terminus for that, because Terminus, I think, was the measuring stick for other people to say, hey, I think we can also run into this city. So that's why I say Terminus 1 was highly successful on so many levels. But even though Terminus was the forefront, I still had this idea. I was like, man, I want to do this if I ever get a chance. I never thought I would get a chance. And then people was just hitting me up out of nowhere. I was like, you know what? This is a sign that it's time to do it. And it took a little bit of work. And I talked to a lot of important people. And then I got to meet some of my favorite artists that I had growing up. And then they was all in for it. So I was like, oh, this is definitely happening. So what Reg was talking about at Revolution Weekend at AEW, when they had the concert, I told them then, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this show and it's definitely happening. I don't think they really believed me when I was telling them. They didn't believe me at all. I could tell the way they was demeanor. I was like, no, the only person that really believed what I was saying was Josiah Williams. Because Josiah knows, because even though we haven't worked together long, he knows how passionate I am about wrestling and passionate about the things and the ideas I have because how he collaborated with me in my interest in music. So when he seen I was like, that look in my eye and passionate, he was like, oh, okay, I'm down, I'm in. Just tell me what it is. And I was like, okay, it's happening. And then next thing you know, like Reg said, a month later, boom, there it is. I was like, oh, y'all didn't think I was playing. Okay, wait till you see what I got on my sleeve.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're talking about, like, you know, you touched on having musical guests at the show and some of your favorite artists. You probably had a lot of hats on during the night. But like when Pastor Troy's out there, where are you just like peeking through the curtain the whole time? You're just standing in the back? Or
if you watch the performance, you see how the whole crowd was engaged in his performance. That was the whole building. It wasn't just the crowd. So the DJ is bouncing, the camera guy is bouncing, I'm bouncing. It's like everybody just stopped what they're doing and they just paid attention to his performance. They was all in awe to his performance. Thankfully, the cameraman was focused enough to stay focused on shooting the damn performance. But that was a whole building. Like it was so live in that building. It didn't really come off as strong on video as it was in person. So it was really a crazy atmosphere. That was the greatest way to kick off the show. And from there, I think it really energized the whole building, and everybody from that point just went 110% in their matches. It was really crazy.
I find it funny that you said that, because I felt like actually I could feel the excitement in the room through the TV, but like, I guess, you know, it depends, but I don't know. I think it came off really well still. It did.
It came off well, but for somebody that was like in the building and then watching it back,
true.
He was like, watching it, watching it, you're like, oh man, this looked dope, this looked hype, this looked lit. And I know I was in the building. I was like, man, y'all just don't know. It was way more lit than that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it didn't come off well.
Any indie company to get that shit. Some big companies, Impact Wrestling has a problem getting over their crowd to the cameras and stuff. So, you know, it's something everybody's working on to improve, I think. But yeah, it felt great. I felt the energy through the video.
Absolutely. You know, while we're talking about the production, obviously I want to get into some of the matches, but you know, before we do that, I do want to acknowledge, like, you had, you know, besides the production team, the non-wrestling talent that you had on the show. You had DJ Michael doing awesome work throughout the night.
Yeah.
The first time he played a sound effect in a match, I was just like, I lost my shit.
That was a great idea. I loved it. I loved the random clips throughout the match. Whose idea was
I
that?
told everything in Battle Slam from every detail came out of my brain. So I made sure I put the right people in place because I wanted them to understand what I wanted them to do. And one of the things with DJ Michael V is I was like, to capture the experience that you had in the video game, we have to have the sound effect, but it can't be too overbearing that it takes away from the wrestling. So I was like, you just got to do it at precise moments. A lot of people don't know this about DJ Michael, but he actually trained to be a wrestler before. So he kind of understands wrestling. He already understands wrestling. And full-time DJing is his full-time gig, but he did take time out previously a few years ago for 6 months to actually train as a wrestler because he was that into wrestling. So that's why it was easy to pick him as a DJ. And he understood when the right moments to do the sound effects. And I was like, this is the sound effect you're going to use, and this is the other sound effect you're going to use. And he blended it perfectly together. So it really came off really well. The people in the crowd really loved it. They loved that was happening during matches. So it came off really well. I like it.
It was great. The first time it happened, you see on the hashtag, there's like instantly just a flood of tweets like, oh shit.
In-house sound effects.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and then like, DJ Mike LV aside, we also, Jake St. Patrick was killer on comment or as a ring announcer. Shug D and Gerard Bonner are that was they really I tweeted about it earlier in the week, but like good commentary enhances, just enhances a show every match, like the whole broadcast. And that's exactly what they did, which they're not a regular duo, right? So, that was like,
no, it was their situation was something that I just had to put together and hope it clicked. I knew Bonfire was really good at what he did, at what he does. And I knew Shug D was really a guy about the culture. We all know that. And he's really, he's really intelligent when it comes to actually calling professional wrestling matches. He's done commentary before. A lot of people know that. So he knows how to tell a story, and he knows how to get across all the hip hop and pop culture references while he does commentary. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put these two people together and it should work. And man, I was not expecting that result. I was like, it's like y'all been commentating for 5 years. They just worked with each other. I was like, it couldn't even go any better for me. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, y'all staying together. We're not breaking this up at all. Like this just worked. When it clicks on the first day like that, and that was their first time meeting. They never met before. So it was like, for it to come off that great is insane. It's really insane.
Chemistry.
My God.
Yeah.
I almost refuse to believe that was their first day. That's
crazy. Chemistry like that off a first meeting is like, that's rare.
Absolutely. So, let's get into the show itself, because I do want to, when we do our future show here, we do kind of like to break down the matches a little bit, and kind of just touch on some of the talent. So, we probably won't go as in depth as I would usually. But we opened up. We had Leon Ruff and Lee Johnson in there, and right off the bat, like Reg and I were talking about this before the show. A lot of there's a lot of wrestling on this show from talent that generally, like, if you're not going to indie shows like locally in the South, there's a lot of people that the general public would only really be familiar with from like seeing them as enhancement talent on an AEW dark match. You know what I mean? And like there was a lot of there's a lot of Nightmare, we had a lot of like Nightmare Factory alumni in here that were not used to seeing like actually in a 12-15 minute match and pulling all the stops out and just pedal to the metal. And that was something I really appreciated with this show. And like first match is an example of that. Lee Johnson getting to do Lee Johnson stuff, right? And show everyone what Lee Johnson does.
Right, like we're usually used to seeing Lee Johnson as like, you know, in a tag team or like kind of like playing the background or an enhancement role, and to see him like kind of like take over in the match and be like a veteran type role and really being able to go 100% himself was great. And it was an amazing way to start the show, I think, especially with like, you know, what Leon Ruff has been through recently, where he came from. But he's another amazing talent that if you just let him go, it's going to be, you know, a great match. So just letting both of these guys go was awesome. What went into putting these two guys together for you?
It's it's funny because a lot of people don't know a lot of the backstory. The backstory to these two guys are well connected to me. If people follow my early independent days, when I was at New South Pro Wrestling, this is like 2018, Leon Ruff was with me. Like, I had a part in training him. Obviously his predominant trainer was AR Fox, but I had a helping hand in training him, and he was always on the road with me before. Yeah, he was always on the road with me before the whole NXT thing popped off. You know what I mean? Like, he was actually in the faction with me on, you know, in the South. So he was like, he was like my son. So it was like a lot of people don't know that part. So when, you know, he had to finally leave WWE and he came back home to Atlanta, he moved back, and I was like, well, we're about to pick up where we left off, buddy. You know what I mean? That's what I told him. I was like, about to pick up where we left off. And Lee Johnson is a guy that he'll probably tell you this story himself. I actually watched his first match ever after he got trained. Yeah, I watched his first match ever. And he came to me after he had his first match, and he was like, "What do you think?" I was like, "You got something. You got a little bit of something there. Like, you just get yourself into better shape or whatever." And he was like, he was really humble, Lee Johnson then, but now he's a whole nother man. He's a whole nother beast now. But yeah, I know those guys since they started wrestling, like literally when they did their first lockup. So they have long ties to me. So I knew that. So I knew how they work. I know their style. I know everything about them. So I was like, yeah, I know exactly what to do with you too. So it was kind of a reunion because they both came from the same training facility. So it was kind of a reunion for them to actually face each other again on a major platform.
So it was important for them, super important for them to start the show. It's just kind of like history.
Yeah. Yeah, I made the decision. I was like, yeah, y'all gonna open because I know that y'all fighting at the bit to wrestle each other because y'all career paths took two different roads and y'all both found success, and now your careers meet again. And it's so funny that I'm the center of it. So it's like it all came back together. You know, all the roads led back to all three of us being, you know, connected once again. So I was like, yeah, y'all opening the show because I know y'all gonna kill it. So that's how that happened.
And from an energy standpoint too, like everyone's already on their feet and losing their minds because they just watched Pastor Troy, and it's like, all right, well, don't sit down yet because here's a stupidly hot match. And like you kept it right up because the next match we had Casey Navarro defeating Shoot Taylor, which both really young guys, but like Casey Navarro is actually 22 but has been wrestling for 7 years, all over the place. And Shoot Taylor, you know, I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but I'm assuming they're around the same age, and totally like not he's so Shoot Taylor, I think this was like his kind of breakout debut, like I'm Shoot Taylor, because he is I have seen him before as Blake Lee on Rampage against Hook, and a couple times on Dark. So
somebody here has a little bit of connection to Shoot Taylor, actually, right? Somebody played a little hand in getting Shoot Taylor to where he is. Shoot Taylor's tremendous, by the way, also. Great job over there. Tell us a little bit about Shoot Taylor and how he came up.
right before we get to Shoot Taylor, definitely want to give props to Casey Navarro. I mean, I've
Casey
been knowing
Navarro is
Casey
one of the best wrestlers in the
for a
world right
minute.
now. He's tremendous.
Yeah, he's on the you should know this name if you don't know this name list.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to him, and I've seen the work he was doing, and we crossed paths when he came to AEW, and I was like, yeah, we kept in contact, whatever. I was like, yeah, I got something that I want you to come do in Atlanta. And he was all for it. So shout out to him. He did an amazing job.
I love this promo too.
Yeah, it was really on point.
Those video packages throughout the night were like super good production. Was that the same crew?
Were.
Yeah, it was there was two different people that made the packages, but they was well produced. They was exactly what I wanted them to be. You know what I mean? Because we was running really short on time, so I picked other production people who I knew would be able to meet what I wanted, and yeah, they came together pretty well. And I just basically formatted the show and put them in the places I most likely thought they needed to be in. It came off great. But yeah, Shoot Taylor is he's a guy, man. He's a guy I discovered out in the middle of nowhere outside of Atlanta. And I was like, hey buddy, you might want to come run with me for a little bit. Come run with me for a little bit. I think you can go some places. And that's been the thing. He's been I think this is his second year. Yeah, he's in his second year now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in his second year. He was an amateur wrestler in high school, so he was wrestling all his life. So he was an amateur wrestler in high school, won a lot of awards, a lot of medals, and then he went into pro wrestling. And then one small fact is that obviously I play a hand in training him. One small fact that people that I didn't know until he disclosed it to me like I think 6 months ago. He used to come to the WWE 4 shows that we used to run back in like 2015. He was 10 years old. Whoa. So he used to always come watch me wrestle at the WWE 4 back in like 2015, 2014. Yo. And he pulled out his phone and he showed me the picture of him sitting on the ring. And I was like, oh shit, that was you, that big-headed kid? I was like, wow, I remember you. So yeah, it is crazy. It makes you kind of feel a little bit emotional because I was like, man, I really had an impact on him to the point he followed this all the way through back to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, that is really dope. So, yeah, he was just lingering around for a little bit, and I told him like, come to Nightmare Factory, come to Nightmare Factory and train with us. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? See if we could, find some opportunities for you. He ended up getting the opportunity wrestling Hook as Blake Lee. He actually is wrestling as Blake Lee tonight on Dark as part of the Factory. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on this show. I think you're ready. I just hope you don't, make me say I could disown you, and I don't know who you are.
That didn't happen. He did it,
and he knocked it out the park. So I can't say nothing bad about him. Shout out to Shoot, man. He's that's my guy right there. So
Baron Black, what the hell is in the water in Georgia? Where are all these talented individuals coming from recently?
And if I could be really honest, there's a lot of talent, diverse talent here in Georgia. I mean, everybody know the South was a wrestling hub back in the day. It was, the South was about wrestling, and it's still the tradition is still embedded into this state. And the thing is, it's just like a lot of people, they don't come out and show it as much. And that's one of the things I really wanted to just get across with Bodyslam. I really wanted the community to come out, and by the community I mean the African American community, because I can see that they still want to support wrestling, but they don't engage because I don't know if they feel like the representation isn't as strong enough, or they feel like they disconnected. So it's like, and I find guys like Shoot Taylor who's like, yeah, I want to be a wrestler. It's like, okay, then why you not trying to pursue it hard? You know what I mean? And I find people like that, and that's why you see all these talented wrestlers just pop up out of nowhere, and they're from Atlanta. It's like it's embedded into the culture here, and a lot of these people grew up in Atlanta being wrestling fans, and they just happen to just take the plunge. So that's why you've seen over the last 15 years, all these wrestlers come out of Atlanta just being so spectacular. So that's really what it is, honestly.
Atlanta and like the South as a whole is like really over the last, the independent scene in the South right now, I think is heating up hotter than almost
it's
anywhere
pretty hot
else.
in the South.
Like,
yeah, it's pretty hot.
You got uncharted territory, running there now too, and a lot of talent in the South.
Like good stuff.
Like in the next match, Adam Priest, Zenshi, JDX, Chad Skywalker. You like that transition?
Yeah, I love it.
I'm trying.
There were 2 names on this show that coming in, I didn't know them. I know. I know.
Yeah.
First name was Shoot Taylor. Second name was Chad Skywalker. That like totally just like blew me away. Like coming into the show, like I see a lot of wrestlers. I make lists, all the things, and so when I get to see some new talent that I've never seen before, and they blow me away, it's always amazing. And these 2 guys did that. Chad Skywalker was. I'm like, where did this guy come from, man? This is amazing. He was doing some amazing work out there.
And I want to real quick say too, because you had 2 4-way matches on this show, and both of them were elimination format. That's the fucking format for multi-man matches, not this single fall shit. Elimination is the way.
Elimination every time. Yes.
Yeah. It was. I really took it from my playing SmackDown versus Raw days when I was playing GMO with my best friend. I always had the elimination matches. I hated the Fatal 4-Way, the 1 pin gimmick. I was like, we're doing elimination. We're doing elimination, man. You're not gonna cheat your way out of this shit. so it's like I always like the elimination format because I feel like it presents a better match, and I feel like it doesn't handicap the talent either.
Exactly.
So it's so they get to go balls to the wall, basically. They get to go completely in if they want to. And the 4-way match, especially that one with Priest, Zenshi, JDX, and Chad Skywalker, it exceeded my expectations. You know what I mean? I knew going out who I wanted to beat in that 4-way, and I knew it was going to result into a good match. I just didn't know they was just going to just absolutely obliterate my expectations on what they did.
I mean, a lot of talented individuals in here. JDX is one of the best out there today. I think he is like on the cusp of like he just needs that one really big moment to be at the next level. He's tremendous. Zenshi, anytime he's in a match, you're going to get something you've never seen before and saying some kind of flip or handstand or something. Wow, this guy, he was hanging on the ceiling and he was walking on people's heads. This guy is crazy.
That his core strength too, like the one spot he did off the like just sideways, like
how do you do that? How?
Zenshi, obviously a lot of people know, some people don't. He has a gymnastics background. Like I think he was a champion gymnast or something. So he actually and I'm gonna say this about him because I know he cares about it a lot. He actually teaches gymnastics to students and minors. So he's a gymnastics teacher. So he teaches it on, I don't know when they off and off season him, but he does that every year. That's like one of his main jobs. He teaches gymnastics to kids. And so he just put on a display of his gymnastic skills, man. It's pretty amazing to see. And every time I see him, he does something even more wild that the human body shouldn't be able to do. So it's like, it's crazy.
And Adam Priest, he's a legend in the South. And for him to come out to Lemonade first off was amazing. But how important? A lot of when I see Atlanta wrestling, all the Atlanta companies always use Adam Priest. How important was it to have him featured out there?
Adam Priest is a guy that I ran into at New South Pro Wrestling in Alabama when I was a champion there. He really wasn't doing, much, but I wrestled him and I was like, hey, you need to travel. I was like, you need to travel because you can wrestle like very well. Like, you're really good in the ring. You know, persona and character and personality wise, it's going to come to you. But you have something. You have a unique look. You know, you kind of got that classic look. I was like, you need to start traveling. So, you know, I think really after people saw me wrestle him for a while, they started bringing him to Georgia, and then the rest was history after that. So he started just getting on a lot of shows in Georgia, and now he's becoming a household name as a South wrestler. So so I've known him for a long time now. So it's like, he was definitely going to be a guy that was going to be part of what I was trying to do with Terminus and Bodyslam. As you can tell, he was on both. So yeah, I'm glad to see he's doing great, and he was excellent in this 4-way match.
Really quick on the crossovers with Terminus, Jonathan Gresham, is he? I mean, he don't be listening to a lot of hip hop, so I don't know if he's gonna. But I mean, could we potentially see him over there?
No. Let me correct y'all on that.
Please
Y'all think Jonathan Gresham don't listen to hip hop? He's an old school hip hop head. He loved him some old school hip hop, boy. He will he will down the hill for old school hip hop.
Okay. So
that's his stuff.
We could potentially see the ROH World Champion over there in Bodyslam.
I don't know, you know what I mean? Like right now,
just announce it if it's in the thing. Right now, say it out loud.
I don't know. Right now, he's working on his baby, which is Martin Age Grappling. I've seen that float around. So I don't know, potentially, you know what I mean? Never say never. That's what they say in this business, right?
So. I'm just happy we could bust the myth on his musical taste.
Yeah, thank you.
Getting the scoops here today.
Exactly.
And then so what? Moving on in the card, we got to Shazam Mckenzie and Ashley D'Amboise. Rager, amazing match.
Great match.
Shaz is having an awesome tour of the United States right now. Ashley D'Amboise, if you watch her on indie shows, like she's another. I refuse to believe she's only a year into her career.
It's
so
real.
Fast and intense, and like I'm not a wrestler, so I don't know, but she looks really like for a year in. I don't think she should be this good. Like she's better than I would imagine someone who's only been at it for a year.
Yeah, she's very impressive. I believe she is a product of Damian Adams in the North. Then she moved down to Atlanta, pursuing some opportunities, and she ended up with us at Nightmare Factory. And as you see, she's been on AEW Dark several occasions. So I was impressed with her when I first showed up. She was very smooth, very crisp, very, very fast. Like you said, she was very fast. She's very athletic. She's sneaky athletic. Like y'all have not seen the iceberg of her athleticism yet. Like she hasn't displayed it all yet. So it's like she's sneaky athletic. So it was a real easy decision to put her on the show. I knew it was going to be a good match. Sasha Mckenzie, and something of opportunity that actually kind of needs to wrestle somebody of that stature. So it turned out really good. So we batting 100 right now for batting.
Right up.
Spoiler alert: nothing changes on the batting average. Like you
All
said,
day.
like the infantry versus C4. We had that right after this. This was cool because this was another one of those. The infantry actually got to display what they can do as a tag team in like a full-length tag team match. And C4 is like, this was for the prestige tag team titles. So that's really cool. I'm, that they would let their titles be defended on your show. I'm assuming is build, how important is it to you to build relationships, with other promotions as well? When you're setting this up.
It is important. I was just a little bit of backstory. C4, Guillermo, and Classic Chung, they came to one of the Nightmare Factory camps. They was one of the standout students of the Nightmare Factory camp. So I don't want to number their camp wrong, but if y'all go back and watch the Nightmare Family page, you can find them in one of the camp showcases. So they actually came, and they was one of the standouts. Actually, Classic Chung was in the main event of one of the Nightmare showcases. So they definitely wanted to come back to Atlanta, and I was like, for sure, definitely. Once I have an opening, I'll bring y'all back to Atlanta. And they went out, got some tag titles, one of the biggest promotions in the West Coast. Yeah, and I was like, hey, y'all ready to come? Y'all ready to come? And they was like, yeah, we're ready to come. I was like, hey, bring those tag team championships with you. I got an idea. And, you know, I talked to the guys at Prestige, and they was like, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Let's do it. You know what I mean? They're all behind C4. I believe in C4. I'm behind C4. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. I think this is going to be a great thing to see. You know, 2 Nightmare Factory camp graduates versus 2 Nightmare Factory products in the infantry. And we're going to see what they're going to do. And they toe it up.
Yeah. I love the entrance infantry. Carly is amazing, man. Like, he brings the raps and the wrestling, and what they've been doing together has been so great. I love all the aesthetics and everything that they bring as a team. So putting them on the show was probably like an easy one for you, right?
Yeah, it was an easy one for me because once we both seen them apart, but once they decided they was going to tag together, I was like, okay, this works. Like, you just okay, yeah, this works. It was kind of like a clicking moment when you first saw Julia Hart with the Varsity Blondes.
Right.
Yeah, this works. This is it. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely the move. So yeah, they just work well together. They feed off each other, and it's like you said, it's an aesthetic and there's an aura about them together as a unit, as an infantry that really glows. And it really meshed well with this match with C4 because I didn't expect them guys to beat the hell out of each other like they did.
Right. I think the infantry kind of have like a chip on their shoulder. So like, I think every opportunity that they get, they're like, no, we're about to show them that we're really out here. And that's exactly what happened here. C4 is tremendous. Prestige is doing some great things out here on the West Coast. So I knew that they were going to tear it down, and they tore it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really excellent tag team match.
And after that, we ended up getting into Fuego defeating Alex Kane, which this match was fun. This was a fun one. Like it sounds Kane versus Fuego del Sol. You already know how the match is gonna go. Fuego's gonna get tossed around like fucking beach ball at a concert. And then after the match, Alex Kane decided to just kill everyone that didn't pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
Oh man, Fuego always finds a way to come out on top, don't he? He always finds a way, no matter what's happening.
He does.
Fuego,
is this your first time working with Alex Kane, or have you guys done some things together?
Oh no, it's if you go on I think it's on IWTV. I'm not sure. It might be on Pro Wrestling TV now. I actually wrestled Alex Kane last year. It was for New South Pro, and I wrestled him last year. He's another product from the A4 facility, and it was a match that he'd been wanting to have for a while, and I finally had it with him last year. And then after I wrestled him, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on some things once I get some stuff started. And Bodyslam came, and I was like, yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for you to do your thing. You know what I mean? The next suplex guy. Suplex assassin.
Like, that's dope. It seems like you planted a bunch of seeds with a bunch of wrestlers, a bunch of different people to be like, hey, I'm going to have something, just wait. And you execute it. That's amazing. Like, you don't hear that a lot in pro wrestling. A lot of people are like, hey, I'm about to do this, and everybody's waiting for it, and it never happens. For you to tell everybody, I'm going to have a spot for you, and then to have a spot and execute is amazing. So, like, great job with that, Baron.
Yeah, I mean, y'all gonna learn. Like, y'all gonna learn today. The Emperor don't play. I don't play, man. I'm very serious about this wrestling thing, man. You know what I mean? That's why I took on the moniker Emperor.
Right.
That's what I wanted. That's what I want to, that's the level I want to be at. That's the level I'm chipping at to achieve. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about it too, but like also, I want the lore to continue, and I want the infantry to now beat MJF and Sean Spears in a tag match. I want the captain to just keep holding that man down for the rest of like.
You
just
can never get one over on the captain. Not now, not ever.
Give me that, man. But and then so after and Alex Kane too, like he's the MLW Openweight champion for a reason.
Yep.
He's not
awesome.
He's not.
He's one of my favorite guys for sure.
He's like, it's like you said, he's the suplex machine guy now. He's the suplex dude. Every which way.
Yep.
Then we had Max Caster and Myron Reed. They had two matches with each other.
Yep. First was a battle rap. The homies, if you have Max is gonna rap anywhere he is, and some people might not know, but Myron Reed is an exceptional rapper. He has a bunch of projects. Like if he's not wrestling, he's rapping. So this only made sense that they started the match out with a battle rap. Did you go in knowing that you wanted to have a battle rap on the show, or did this kind of like, how did this come about?
Oh, that was the whole purpose of putting the match together.
Right.
That was the whole purpose. Max me and Max are cool. We're cool friends, and I know he wanted to wrestle in Atlanta too. And then Myron, I know him from way back when he first started, man. Like it's a lot of people that are doing stuff now that I've been knowing since they first started wrestling. Like they know of me, they know me. We met on independent scene back in the day, and now they're doing their damn thing. And I was like, oh, I already knew Myron does his music, and I was like, well, I know Caster wants to, wrestle in Atlanta. I was like, oh, this is just easy. This is just easy to put together at this point. And I was like, y'all just have a rap battle. Just go at it. Don't matter. You have no restrictions here. Just don't get canceled. That's pretty much
it.
I like it. That's the rules that I go by here. So, it's a good rule set.
It is.
Just don't get canceled. So, this is Myron's so good. Like
Myron's one of my favorite wrestlers.
We've seen we've seen so much of Max Caster that like we already know how awesome and fun Max Caster is. But like Myron Reed, if you don't watch a lot of indie wrestling or you don't watch a lot of MLW, I really like the way you did this a lot throughout the card with like there was people that you don't know as well wrestling, a lot of people that people are pretty familiar with, and it was there's a lot of good showcasing going on here where we got to see we got to see like a really I don't know the word but we got to see like a lot of people let loose,
right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. There we go.
Right. Yeah. And so an established one against a not so established one, but also they are pretty established. So it was kind of a great way to showcase all parties involved pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely, I was hoping that was the actual feel that people got. So
right.
I'm glad it came off that way.
I think a lot of people came out of this show like knowing names that they didn't know before the show or weren't as familiar with before the show, and are like aware of, I should look out for this name now.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a lot of that happening here. Every match, really.
Oh, it's definitely
like just about every match. The next one too. The other four-way. Queen Aminata, she defeated Janai Kai, Robin, and kind of Charlie Renegade, and Helica Risk. Like this was another like super sick multi-person match again.
Yeah, elimination
style.
Yeah, I look. I'm gonna go on record and say that's one of the best four-way women's matches I've ever seen. I I mean, to be honest with you, I was like, I don't think I've seen a 4-way match that good on independent level in quite some time. On a women's 4-way elimination match.
Right.
So
and you don't see a lot of women's 4-way matches also on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't. So I was like, I was really I just knew that these are 4 individuals that I definitely know very well. Robin Renegade, obviously y'all seen her on Dark, seen her on Rampage and stuff like that. Angelica Rich, you've seen her on Dark a couple of times. Those are Nightmare Factory products from Wild Nightmare Factory. So I'm very familiar with them. Janai Kai was like my favorite independent wrestler for like the last 2 years. So when I finally got her in the Terminus 1, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do some more stuff with you. You know what I mean? Just hold tight. And then this came up. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. So I've been a fan of Janai Kai for a minute. And then Queen Amanada is just stunning. It's the only word you can really say. I mean,
it's amazing.
It's to the point that the fans of Battle Slam and Terminus are now throwing rose petals at her feet when she comes to the ring. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like
for real, bro.
Before. And then she obviously I first met her when she finally came into Dark, AW Dark, and I was impressed with her in ring, and I was like, yo, you are amazing. You know what I mean? Because I've only seen her from afar, and then we became really cool friends and everything. And I was like, hey, you want to come wrestle at Terminus? And then she did really good at Terminus. So I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. I was like, bet. Say less. Say less. And then it was a no-brainer. I view all 4 of these women very highly, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my 4 favorite, four of my favorite women, not the only 4 favorite women wrestlers I have, but 4 of my favorite women wrestlers, and I'm gonna see if they can knock it out the park, and they did. Even before the bell started, it was crazy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, they knocked it right out of the park. Absolutely. Yeah. And then obviously we get to our main event.
Who was in that?
Somebody that should be highly ranked this year.
Yeah, Lee Moriarty, he is.
So this was
2 people that should be highly ranked this year, honestly.
Was this really a first time matchup?
This is the first time. This is the first time we ever wrestled.
Wow.
We ever wrestled. This is a match that was announced in 2019. Once again, a new South Pro Wrestling that we were supposed to have, and then something. I think he had something happen on a personal level, whatever. He couldn't do the show, whatever. And then obviously 2020, everybody knows what happened then. so we just never got to wrestle, and it's like, oh well, we were still cool, just chatting up on the line every here and now and again. And then he finally came to AEW, and then obviously we became really cool. And I was like, yeah, we'll wrestle eventually. And then just came up, and I was like, man, I need a main event for this show. I don't know what to do. And then I was like, man, if I'm talking about hip hop and wrestling, one of the first names you think of is Lee Moriarty. So I was like, okay, I think this is where this match finally has to take place.
Did you go in thinking that you were going to be the main event, or was it kind of like, I guess I'll do it? Was it like that?
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'll do it because like I was saying, there was a lot of names people do know, and there's a lot of names people do not know. So they was getting introduced. So me and Lee Moriarty, obviously names that everybody knows. Right. So I was like, I might as well go with that. And plus, I think Lee Moriarty deserves a main event stage. So
definitely.
I was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. And we finally got to lock horns, and I finally got to chop the shit out of him. It was very satisfying. For all that Atlanta Hawk slander he be slashing on damn Twitter, I finally got to knock that shit out of him.
He was running away.
KC was the one that was slandering that night.
Oh man, yeah, he was. He was. Couldn't even say nothing because we was getting beat like a drum.
Right.
Yeah.
This is fun though. Like you had Josiah, you had the GOAT Josiah Williams play to the ring. I got it right that time.
There you go.
You had Lee making some streamer snow angels.
Everybody's just having so much fun.
And you guys, that was a main event match. That was fucking fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you. It was definitely one of my favorite matches.
How was that as like we talked about it, you were wearing mini hats. How is it like you're putting the show, you did everything in the show and then like you have to wrestle at the end of it? How was your mind state throughout the days being like, I also have to do a match at some point?
If you ask some of the talent that was there, they'll probably say they don't know how the hell I did it. Because from the moment I walked into the building to I walked into the ring, I was all over that damn venue. Mm-hmm. Directing traffic, making sure shit was correct, making sure my VIP guests were handled correctly, making sure everything was running, making sure the front was. I was running like I had 5 heads on my body. Like it was wild. I was like, yo, I've never worked like this in my life. I never worked like this in my life, but I understood like this is something I wanted to be successful. I didn't want anything to go wrong. So I was doing multiple things. So when I finally, it was my music hit and Josiah grabbed that microphone, I was like, whew, it's about
it was relief, right?
Yeah.
I know how to do this part, and I know nothing can go wrong over here. Yeah. So
I can do the wrestling part. Like we got this part.
Just wrestle this match, and we're home. We're in the driveway.
Right.
And so having said all that, and how much was on your plate, we have we've got Fight for ATL coming up on June 12th.
Right back at it.
So is there anything like that, having just finished with Vendetta, that you're kind of like learning from to take into Fight for ATL, where you're like, okay, maybe get somebody to do this for me instead of trying to juggle like
like and of course you if you don't learn from every experience, you gotta question yourself a little bit. You should always be learning, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely learned how to be more efficient. The production was top notch, but we even going to crank it up even bigger for ATL, Fight for ATL. So stay tuned to see that.
How about time management, like through the show?
Time management was a little bit off. You know what I mean? It was a little bit off. We had to, when you taking 2 different industries and you're trying to cross them over together for one event, obviously time schedules, somebody's going to be running a little bit behind. So we had
rappers and wrestlers.
So we had that situation happen. So we was a little bit behind letting people in, and the show got a little bit behind and stuff like that. But the thing is, the people enjoyed themselves so much that they didn't give a lick about none of that. You know what I mean? They was ready. They was ready to see all these superstars. They was ready to see Pastor Troy kill it on the microphone. And it's like all that really went out of the window, because everything really was smooth sailing once the show started. It was a little bit of bumps, before we started, but everything was smooth sailing. Once we started, it was smooth. It was really smooth. So I'm really happy about that. So I did learn a few things that will apply for Fight to ATL, but this is probably one of the smoothest running shows I've had, barring the late start, the late start. Simply because, obviously running Terminus and Terminus 1, it just keep improving from that point. So, so I know the next one is going to be even greater. Yeah.
And the show happened at the end of April. The broadcast was a little bit delayed between that. So you almost kind of had like 2 different post-show windows. One where like you and everyone who was in the building kind of know how the show went and what happened. But then you got this like waiting period, and then the broadcast happens. Like, what was was your feeling on the show the same? With the first couple of days after the actual event, and then was it kind of like a similar feeling seeing the response to the broadcast as well?
After it was over, and the fans came up, and the execs came up, and people that I know around the industry and the hip hop industry came up and tell me how much of a good time they had. When is the next one? If that's the first question you get when the event's over, you pretty much did something really great, and it felt good. A lot of people can understand who have run shows before. You have a certain feeling when a show is over, and if you have that good feeling, something good was great. And then after a while, I started getting messages the next day, and the day after that. When is the replay? When is the replay? When is the replay? It's like, oh, okay.
Me, I was in your DMs like, when is it? Let me see the show, Aaron. What's going on?
And I was like, hey, be patient. We got the production side is not going to be rushed because we're going to do a great job on the production side, and y'all can see the product when it's finished. And now when y'all viewed it, everybody was like, that's exactly what I want. I didn't want nothing rushed out. I wanted to make sure people got the actual presentation, at least in the realm of the presentation I wanted to display with Bodyslam and Vendetta. So it came out a little bit later than I wanted to come out. We had a little bit of hiccups, and I was like, it's okay. I know the product is solid. I viewed the footage after it was complete. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. It just had to be about the right time. And at that point in time, and then I had other, companies I had to talk to about certain situations that we probably can announce soon, I think, in about 30 days or so. So that's going to be good. Hopefully I can share that soon. So, yeah, there's a lot of big stuff coming around Bodyslam, and a lot of unprecedented stuff that has never been done before in wrestling with hip hop. So it's
Wow.
This is really manifested into something that in my wildest dreams, to be honest with you. And then on top of that, obviously, Terminus 3 was announced after Terminus 2, and that's going to be something to behold as well. So when that finally is able to be announced. So it's it's looking really good right now from Bodyslam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and so speaking of Bodyslam, and we were talking about Fight for ATL. You said you got some big things coming. As far as Vendetta goes, Reg, did you have any more questions or comments regarding the show? And
I just want to say tremendous job to everyone involved in this show. I think everything that you told me before the show was going to happen, I felt all of it with the show. So great execution, great execution, the wrestlers, the fans are great, commentary, everything involved with it. It was a tremendous show, and what you were trying to put across came across. So thanks, Baron. That was awesome.
Thank you. And just know, when the Emperor speaks, he speaks the gospel. Ain't no bullshit.
I'm waiting for my graphic too, like Righteous Reg, Bodyslam. I'm going to continue to wait for it, but
Hey, like I said, this business.
Bodyslam, okay.
Hey, what did I say in this business? Never say never, man. Never say never.
Got your ass on record. Got your ass on record.
But I can't really put it much better than how Reg did, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. My feelings very much mirror his, so I love the shows. I've had, like I said, I when I do my featured show, because I'm doing a deep dive on it, I'll watch it 3 or 4 times throughout a week, taking notes, just making sure I didn't miss any little details about stuff. And I didn't have a bad time watching this for a third or fourth time. Like I'm still getting excited watching the matches. I'm still thinking about going and putting on C4 versus the infantry again.
Yeah.
But before we say bye to you, gentlemen, let's plug some shit. So I know Fight for ATL is coming up June 12th in Atlanta.
June 12th, ATL, baby.
If you go into the video description, I've got the ticket link posted. Go buy tickets if you're in the Atlanta area or can travel to the Atlanta area. Who you got announced already? What? Tasha Steeles, Dante Martin, Myron Reed.
Yes, we have
Anthony Ogogo.
Anthony Ogogo just got announced last night. There's 2 announcements I understand coming today at 3 and 6.
Yeah. 2 announcements coming today. Like you said, we got the Knockouts champion Tasha Steeles. We got the governor Anthony Ogogo. We got the top flight man himself Dante Martin. We got Hot Fire Myron Reed. And we also have WoW women wrestler now, Rekha Tahaga. So yeah, we're starting off pretty hot with these announcements.
Seriously.
And it's only going to get more blazing from this point on. When I tell you this lineup is going to be something out of this world, that is definitely going to speak to hip hop. Trust me when I tell you, because a lot of people didn't trust me the first time I told them. Trust me when I tell you. When I call this the sequel, this is the sequel. And basically, I'm you know how Super Mario takes the little mushroom and he gets bigger. I picked up the fire flower for this one.
Gotcha.
So we throwing some flames in this one. So, yes, I think y'all gonna be pleasantly surprised with a lot of announcements that are coming. Some announcements I can't even believe I even pulled it off, but it's happening. It's definitely happening. So I'm excited. You're not going to want to miss Fight for ATL. Because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a fight for ATL. That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be probably one of the best shows in the history of Atlanta, Georgia, to be honest with you. I'm being straight honest with you. So, hip hop and wrestling converge, collide, whatever you want to call it. This is the sequel. This is the second coming, and it's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes, man. So be paying attention to that Bodyslam account daily, because we have so many things to announce that it has to be announced daily because we're gonna run out of time to announce all the stuff.
The link for that account is also down there, so go follow the Bodyslam Twitter.
We got a plethora of talent to still announce, a lot more debuts, quite a few returns. We have artist lineup that I think is just mind-blowing for me. You know, I can't believe I actually have this happening. So we got an artist lineup that's just really going to be eye-opening. I can't wait to announce the first person. I can't wait to announce the first person, just see the reactions of everybody. And the match lineup is going to be pretty superb. So if you don't have your tickets yet, tickets are really selling right now. So they're selling, and if you don't got your tickets yet, you might want to get it, because when this lineup start getting, halfway through, almost to the end, then people try to wait to the last minute, and then it's like, it's all gone. So hop on it right now. I'm telling you, hop on it right now. You're not gonna be disappointed. So I'm making that promise right now. I'm making that promise. You will not be disappointed with what's going to happen in the Fight for ATL. If you love Vendetta, you will want to marry Fight for ATL. I'll put it to you like that. I'll put it to you like that.
Well, if we learned anything today, it's that you do put your money where your mouth is. So I'm ready for it. Reg, where can everyone find you?
It's Righteous Reg, at Righteous Reg on Twitter Instagram. Grapsody podcast every Saturday morning. It's going to be a hot one this week. Everybody's already like, yo, what are you guys going to say? What are you going to do? So tune in on Saturday. You might catch me soon here on Bodyslam doing something. I don't know. Maybe. What's going to happen here? RighteousReg.bandcamp.com. It's your boy, Media Man. Catch me everywhere. Appreciate you, Mike.
Thank you, Reg. And Baron, what about yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Y'all can find me, at the Emperor on Twitter and the Emperor on Instagram. That's TheEmpBruh. You know what I mean? That's my ats on Twitter and Instagram. Don't bother with the Facebook. I'm at the friend limit, so you can go follow. It's just a mess over there right now on Facebook. But yeah, just check out my posts on Facebook. I ain't got no room on the friend list. Also, follow Bodyslam on Facebook. Follow Bodyslam on Twitter, and hit that notification icon so you do not miss out on the heat that is going to be dropped from this day forth all the way to the day of the show.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's about it. Watch me tonight on AEW Dark.
Guys, thank you very much for spending some time with me today. I'm gonna let you guys go because I've got to move on and talk about a couple other shows that happened. But again, it's a random Tuesday afternoon or morning if you're Reg. So thank you very much for sharing the time with me. Baron, I hope we can do this again around Fight for ATL. I would love to have you back. Had a fantastic time today.
All right, no problem. Hopefully we do that. We should do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
All right.
All right.
And we are on to okay, first of all, how fucking fun was that? I'm getting the hang of this bit by bit, I think. Maybe one day we'll be like a real podcast, guys. Yeah, there's one more show that I wanted to talk about this week because I didn't know how much time I'd be running into today. And so I do have one more I want to get through, and that is West Coast Pro's Ill-Mannered. That was from Friday, May 13th. Aired live on IWTV. You can watch the replay still on IWTV. You should go watch the replay still on IWTV because the show fucking banged. We opened up with Reno Scum and Carl Fredericks defeating the Conglomerate. Fucking sweet little 6-man action here. Match 2, we went in. We had Billy Starks defeat Dark Sheik and Shazam Mckenzie. We talked about Shaza earlier. Dark Sheik is killing it. Billy Starks is killing it. Might have some news on her in a couple of days here at Indeed. This match was super duper fun. If you've watched the first 2 episodes, you already know that I go absolutely apeshit for multi-person matches. So this one still had me doing the same thing. Wicked multi-person moves going on here. There was like a Northern Lights and Indian Deathlock combo. Billy was hanging in a tree of woe and hit a German suplex on Shaza, who superplexed Dark Sheik. Another similar thing, we had Billy hitting a German on Shaza Saito suplexing Dark Sheik. Billy won the match by tombstoning Dark Sheik onto Shaza for the pin. Whole thing was fucking crazy. And we moved on. We had West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jorel Nelson and Royce Isaacs defeating Dutch and Tyler Bateman, who very happy seeing Tyler Bateman around. And the LA Dojo guys, it's really cool that they do a lot of traveling around the West Coast for independent dates, and so it's fun to see, it's nice to see them getting out and doing some independent shows and not just on Strong and stuff. Yeah, and Tyler Bateman too, what do you say, between him, Vincent, and Matt Taven, they've trained every one of your favorite wrestlers probably right now. So they ended up having an amazing tag match. We did have the West Coast Wrecking Crew get the W here. Moving on, we had AJ Gray defeating Robert Martyr in one of the sickest fucking matches I've seen in a minute. Robert Martyr put a really good effort in, considering who he was up against. Also, like, Robert Martyr is so young and so good already. So I'm really excited for the future of Robert Martyr and watching him. Like, if you see him listed on a card, just watch the show. It's going to be good. He'll have a good match. AJ killed him with some chops. He did a spring. We got a springboard elbow drop out of AJ. It was the second rope, but that's, 2 ropes higher than I'm used to seeing him do the elbow from. Crazy big splash. Martyr with an insane moonsault. We had AJ winning with the lariat, the scariest lariat that I don't want to ever have to imagine what that would feel like. That's and then we moved on. We'll move on. We had this is the match that probably everyone came out of the show talking about. Will Osprey defeating Titus Alexander. And if this is your first time hearing the name Titus Alexander, go and get familiar with the name Titus Alexander. Just look up his matches, watch the last 20 of them. Pick one. They're going to be fucking amazing. Titus Alexander is one of those like names that not everyone knows and everyone should fucking know. And he was in there with arguably one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. And he held his own. And like, this was a fantastic match to watch. I wish Reg could have stuck around because he was here he actually was at this show, and we were talking a bit about it before. And, just like, first of all, shout out to West Coast Pro for having Will Osprey on their show. Like, it's not, it's not a small thing to make happen. So for them to pull that off, and then for Titus Alexander, one of, a West Coast Pro regular, to be able to go out there and put on that quality of the match with him that was phenomenal. Like that. And that's not like, this isn't like an anomaly match for Titus Alexander where it's like, oh, it was this good because he worked with Will Osprey. It's no, Titus Alexander is this good because Titus Alexander was this fucking good. I implore you to go watch any of his matches over the last 6 months or more. It's fucking insane shit. Their sprint at the end and all the false finishes was just like hard stopping shit. The Os cutter, like Will Osprey going for an Os cutter and then like Titus dodging it and then hitting him with an Os cutter right after. Fucking just watch the match. And then right after that, Levi Shapiro, one of the cornerstone pieces of West Coast Pro, defeating JD Drake. 2 guys just going out there killing each other. Levi, yeah, this was such a good match. Levi's a heavy hitter, powerful dude. He's just coming back off an injury, so it's good to see him back. He had a really good match at their last show, game related, with AJ Gray as well. There's a trend here of everyone having really good matches at the previous show. So take that as your sign to go back and watch some of their previous shows too. Go all the way back to literally when the pandemic, like I think their first show back out of the pandemic was last July 2021. And every single card from there onward has had great matches on it. I'd like this is the West Coast and West Coast Pro specifically. I really, grown very fond of over the last year, watching their stuff. Next match, we had Timothy Thatcher defeating Kevin Blackwood. I don't think What a match. Like this is another good one because you have, what many people consider a striking based wrestler in Kevin Blackwood and Timothy Thatcher, who's obviously like a submission machine. But Kevin Blackwood is he's got some technical chops, and yeah, this one had me going too. Thatcher like this fucking seesaw thing into the turnbuckle, which was just weird but awesome. Watching Thatcher just bend Kevin Blackwood around for a while. I think he tweeted a couple days after about it that Kevin Blackwood has like the strongest grip he's ever felt. He's like, I can't remember what he said that he could crush, but yeah. Veda Scott on commentary here. Also shout out James DK and Veda Scott, who hoping are just the regular commentary at West Coast Pro. They're awesome when like they've done the last 2 shows, I know for sure. And I'd have to go back and really like, what a great duo. Veda's one of the, best commentary or what. She's so multi-talented, or they're so multi-talented, like hire Veda. Glad to have her on glad to have them on the call here. Yeah. They said Thatcher specializes in armbars and armbar accessories. There we go. Couldn't read my notes for a second there. Then yeah, we had Thatcher winning by submission, and then we get to our main event: Vinny Massaro defeating Biff Busick. Again, 2 guys just murdering each other with some strong, stiff, this is a very snug shots for the majority of a match. You knew looking at this one on paper that you're gonna kind of expect a war. You got a war. Vinny Massaro winning. Again, if you want to talk about people who are important to the West Coast Pro locker room, but also the region itself, Vinny would be one of those dudes. And yeah, this was just a great showing from West Coast Pro for the whole show. I already said, they did, since July of last year when they came back, they've been having nothing but amazing shows. They keep getting better and better and better too. With talent coming in from not just around the country, but like all over the world. We had Will Osprey in this show. Last month they had Yuji Nagata and Minoru Suzuki on the show. Like it's just insane. At their next show, which we'll talk about as well, they've got Jacob Fatu's defending the West Coast Pro Championship against Trey Miguel. AJ Gray versus Tom Lawler. That's going to be a fucking bloody war. Speedball Mike Bailey and Konosuke Takeshita. That's their show 93 till Infinity. That's Friday, June 10th. And that's when that's going to be on IWTV. Watch it. I don't need to say anything else about it. Watch it. It's going to fucking rule. I'm definitely going to cover it. I'll probably do my featured show on it that week, honestly. Like, just so I could talk about AJ and Tom. Like, those 3 matches alone. Like, we're probably looking at that for a featured show on the 14th. What? It's Friday the 10th, so 14th. I can count. Let's do it. Yeah, that's it for today, though. I had a really good time here with you guys. I had a fantastic time talking to Baron Black and Righteous Reg all about Bodyslam Vendetta. That was really cool getting to hear the ins and outs of what went into putting that show together, not just the show itself, but like the individual matches. Hearing Baron reflect on hearing him be able to reflect on an accomplishment like this, which is, well and truly what it is. It's, whenever you have an idea in your head and you come up with something and you can actually see it to fruition and, find positive feedback and success in it. That's the only thing, that you can always call that an accomplishment. But yeah, that's going to be our show for the day. I'm going to go get some rest. My back hurts like shit. And I'm going to find something to watch on IWTV. So thanks for spending some time on your Tuesday with me. Thank you very much again to my guests, Baron Black and Righteous Reg. Appreciate you donating some of your time to me this afternoon. And to everybody else, thank you for watching. I'll be back next week, same time, Tuesday, or same time, 1 p.m., same day, Tuesday. Will I learn how to be a podcast host by then? Who fucking knows? Bye, everybody.